Hello everybody and welcome. I am the Shy Hat, that's me, and this is HackerFrogs. Alright, so everybody, today we're going to be continuing on with our Python Programming Basics course. Today we're doing part 6 of the course, and today's topic is going to be classes and objects. Alright, so to everybody who has stuck with the Python course so far, thank you very much. And let's get started. This is, like we said before, this is the 6th class for Intro to Python Programming. During our last workshop, we learned about a few Python concepts through programming concepts through Python, including the following. So we talked about functions. Functions are defined blocks of code that can be executed multiple times in the same program. Executing a function is usually referred to as calling a function or a function call. Other words we can use to talk about executing a function include the exact words executing a function, running a function, invoking a function, or other words that sound about the same as that. But now, whenever you hear people talking about calling a function, you'll know what they're talking about. All right, so today's topic is going to be classes and objects. So classes and objects are very important within Python because technically everything in Python is an object which belongs to a class because Python is an object-oriented language. So we're talking about objects and classes. Python is an object-oriented language, otherwise known as an OOP language, and as such, all pieces of data in Python code are considered objects. So you see here we have our 3 integers, my integer, my float, and my string. So if we were to print out which type of data those variables belong to, it reports that it belongs to the class integer, the class float, and the class string, respectively. So these are all different classes in Python, strings, floats, and integers, and they all have different attributes associated with them. In addition, all objects in Python are separated into different classes. We can see that the 3 variables here are in the integer, float, and string classes, respectively. All right, so an objects class indicates which built-in functions, methods, and variables it has. So we see here that myString is an example of the string class. So as an object in the string class, it has access to certain functions and certain methods. So for example, there's the length function right here, which returns the number of characters a string has. As well, there is the .upper method, which is exclusive to the string class, which returns the output of the string in all uppercase characters. So here we've executed a function and method on the myString variable. Both the len function and the upper method are unique to the string class. Well, they're not unique to the string class. The len function is not, but I'm pretty sure that the upper method is. So if we change the myString variable to an integer, executing either the len function or the upper method would result in an error method, because as the attribute error indicates over here, the integer object has no attribute upper on line 3. So here, this object does not have this attribute, so it cannot perform this method here. So this is the meat and bones of what we're doing today. We're going to be creating new classes. So in order to create a new class, and we create new classes to basically, it sounds kind of dumb, but we create new classes in order to classify objects or to classify new variables into different classifications. I can't help but to use the word class when I'm describing this. I wish I could use a different word. Okay, so for example, we could create a class called student, and objects in the student class would have certain attributes assigned to them. So in order to create a class, we have to begin with the class keyword over here, then the name of the class, then a colon. So the first letter of the class name is capitalized. So this is the common naming convention, is to always name your classes with capital letters, or with capital letters for the first letter in the name. And then because this is a code block, we have to end with a colon over here. And as a code block, anything that falls under the code block has to be indented. So this is going to be indented to 1 level. And if we were to include a new code block inside of the code block, we would need to indent that to a second level. So on the next line, we have to indent 4 spaces. Then we have to, so this isn't mandatory, but this is a common way of creating a class. We have to use a special function inside of the new class definition over here, which is called init, right over here. So on the next line, we have to indent 4 spaces. Then we're going to create a function, and then init, and then a pair of parentheses. Then inside of the parentheses, the first thing that we have to include is self, and then the name of any other attributes the class requires, then a colon. So this is another code block right here. So the init function is a special function that lets you define attributes within the class. So for example, we're inside the init function over here. We have self, which is, we'll explain what self is for in just a second. And then, for example, in this class, we're going to include a name and a favorite subject. So here, we're defining what the attributes are. Self.name is basically the object itself and its name attribute. And then self.favSubject is the attribute's own favorite subject attribute. Okay, so if you have any questions about anything we're talking about, feel free to type in the chat and we'll try to get to your comments as soon as possible. So one important feature of class creation is defining the init function. So the init function is surrounded by these double underscores. In Python lingo, the double underscore is known as the dunderscore. So it's dunderscore init dunderscore. And this function is going to specify the attributes of the class. So here we're classifying a student inside of the init function. Here it says that the class is going to include a name and a favorite subject. And this is where we define these things. So, and on the next line, we're going to create an instance of the student class over here. So each time a class object is created, we refer to it as an instantiation or an instance of that class. So here we're creating a student called Crypto Guy, and it's going to be a student with the name set to Crypto Guy and the favorite subject set to cryptography, just like this. So we're going to talk a little bit about the class self attribute. One attribute which all classes share is the self attribute, which is used to access other attributes and methods of the class inside the code. So next we're going to talk a little bit about derived classes, otherwise known as subclasses. So before we do that, let's try doing one of these ourselves. So we're going to do class student, and we're going to follow this this template right here. So let's go over to onlinepython.com, and I will leave the link to that in the chat. So after you've loaded up onlinepython.com, you will notice that there is already some code included on the page here. What you need to do is you need to highlight that code right there and just delete it. And then from there you can start writing your own code. So we're going to try creating our own student class on the onlinepython.com website right here. So we're going to def, no, it's not def, it's class, because we use the class keyword. And then we're going to use a capital letter to start the name of our class. So it's going to be define student, just like this. hold on, let me take a look at my notes. Okay, so class student, this is how we know that we're going to be defining a class. So next we have to create the init function. So it's double underscore init, double underscore, and then a pair of parentheses, and then a colon. So inside the parentheses, we're going to name what these attributes are going to be. First, it's going to be self, and then it's going to be name, and then it's going to be fav subject. So we're going to space it out just to make it look a little prettier. Okay, and then we're going to define the attributes. So we're going to say self.name is equal to name, and then we're going to say that self.fav subject is going to equal to fav subject. All right. So what else did we need to do there? So we've defined these two things, and now we can, let me take a look at let me have a little peek at the code. Okay, and then we're going to create an instance of this class. So we're going to create our good friend crypto guy. Crypto guy equals student, and this is where we define crypto guy's class attributes. So the first attribute is going to be name, and then the second attribute is going to be fav subject. So for name, we're going to call this person crypto guy, and then for fav subject, we're going to say that this crypto guy's fav subject is cryptography. All right. So if we wanted to get the attributes from this crypto guy instance over here, we would do crypto guy dot name. So we could print this. Print crypto guy dot name is going to print out crypto guy, just like what was specified over here. Okay, so let's try this out. Run this, and it prints out crypto guy. Let's see. VM Smith just subscribe to with Tier 1. Thank you very much, VM Smith. I really appreciate that, and welcome to the club. Okay, so print out crypto guy's name, crypto guy.name. That's going to print out crypto guy's name, crypto guy. And VM Smith also says celebration to you too, and welcome to Twitch. I really appreciate seeing you here. Let's see some OSFrog in chat and some smileys. Thank you very much. All right, so if we wanted to do crypto guy's fav subject, we could always do print crypto guy dot fav subject. Okay, and we can run that. So it returns crypto guy, then cryptography, and we could even put this all in a big string. So maybe crypto guy is introducing himself. So we could call introduction is going to be equal to a string. We're going to call this an F string because we want to put some variables in here. So hello, my name is, and then inside of these curly braces right here, we could do crypto guy.name. My name is crypto guy.name, and my favorite subject is, oh, I misspelled crypto guy. Okay, so let's, and then after we've created this introduction variable here, we're going to print it out. So we're going to print out introduction, and this should print out the sentence over here. So let's try that out. Hello, my name is Crypto Guy. My favorite subject is cryptography. Okay, this works. All right, so everybody, so if there are any questions about anything that we've been learning so far, please let me know in the chat. Otherwise, we're going to move on to our next little bit over here, which is derived classes. So just like there are, so inside of Python, you can have classes, and then you can have classes that are derived from a class. So derived, we can also call them subclasses or child classes, and then the class that they come from could be called a superclass, a base class, or a parent class. So it's basically one class comes from another class. So derived classes are classes with inherent properties and methods from another class. So the other class is called the base class or superclass. So let's just say that we have a class called HackerFrog, okay? And inside of the HackerFrog class, we have a motto over here, and we're hacking and coding and causing a scene. So this is what the HackerFrog's motto is. It's equal to this string right here. And then we would, so for the HackerFrogs init, we would put a name. So each HackerFrog is going to have a name over here, and so it's inside of the init function, which has the self and then the name, which is the attribute, which you get to set. So let's actually create this over here. So we're going to create a class called HackerFrog inside of our online Python. And we're going to create our motto. We're hacking and coding and causing a scene. Okay, and then we're going to do our init function. And inside the init function, we need to reference the self. But this sounds kind of spiritual a little bit. We need to reference the self, and then we need to give ourselves a name. So the HackerFrog is going to have a name, and they're going to have a motto by default. So every object in the HackerFrog class is going to share this motto attribute over here. So if you were to reference it, it would be this right here. Okay, so inside here, self.name is equal to name. Why exactly we need to do this? Well, it's just the syntax and the way it works. Okay, so we've got our parent class over here called HackerFrog. All right, so let's take a look back at the presentation. We're talking about derived classes, otherwise known as subclasses. Here, the cryptographer class is derived from the HackerFrog class, so inherits the motto from its superclass. All right, so we're going to create a subclass of HackerFrog over here, and the way we do that is we do the same thing that we did for creating the parent class, but in this case, when we name the subclass, we need to put inside of parentheses what the parent class or superclass is for this subclass or derived class. Okay, so inside of this cryptographer subclass over here, we have another attribute for the cryptographer subclass, which is this crypto fact over here. So crypto fact is equal to this string base64 isn't encryption. So if anybody knows what this is referencing, base64 isn't encryption, please let us know in the chat. It's just a fun little fact. And then we have to create our init function again. All right, so let's write out the cryptographer subclass for the HackerFrog. All right, so over here, class cryptographer, and this is this is the way that we indicate to Python that this is a derived class from HackerFrog. Okay, so in this case, CryptoFact is going to be base64 is not encryption. And then we have to create our init function. And what do we have for the init function? We also have a name for the init function, okay. So the thing about, if you have the same attribute in both the parent class and the subclass, I'm pretty sure the subclass's attribute is going to override the parent class's attribute. Okay, but let's test this out. So it's self and the name. And then self.name is equal to name. Okay, so after we've defined our class, our parent class, and our child class or subclass, we can then create a new object. So let's just say that we have our good friend Crypto Guy, and Crypto Guy is going to be equal to cryptographer, and it's going to have the following attributes. It's going to be, their name is going to be Crypto Guy. Okay, so when we experiment, we can see that we're going to see that Crypto Guy, the object, it has attributes from both the cryptographer class and the HackerFrog class. So how do we test this out? So we're going to reference the these two attributes. So it's going to be, so we're going to print Crypto Guy dot motto. So dot motto is the attribute from HackerFrog, and then we're going to print out Crypto Guy dot CryptoFact. So it has both of these attributes over here. So when we run this program, we're going to print out both of these attributes, one from the parent class and one from the child class or subclass. Okay, so name Crypto Guy is not defined. Oh, I misspelled Crypto Guy. Okay, no other spelling mistakes in this code, right? Okay, let's run that again. Okay, so the first print statement is going to print out the motto. We're hacking, encoding, and causing a scene. And the second print statement is going to print out the CryptoFact. Base64 is not encryption. So just for fun, Base64 is not encryption is referring to the fact that a very common encoding method called Base64 is going to transform information from one type into another. But the reason that even though we're transferring the information from one type into another, Base64 is not considered encryption, because anything that's called encryption has to be something that is not publicly known and is not basically it has to do with the intent behind the information. But I digress. Let's move on. Okay, so let's move on with the classes and objects exercise. So the exercise is located at this URL right here, and I'm going to provide the URL in the chat for everybody. Okay, so if you need to get the link, please look at the chat and copy it from there. All right, so let's move through the different sections of this web page and go through the exercises. All right, so classes and objects. So Objects are an encapsulation of variables and functions into a single entity. Objects get their variables and functions from those classes. Classes are essentially a template to create your objects. So a very basic class would look something like this. So we use the class keyword and then my class. So this is going to be the name of the class is called my class. So bear in mind that the naming convention of naming classes means that you have to capitalize the first letter of the class. All right, so there's a variable inside of this class called blah. So it's this string called blah, and that's the variable. And there's a function created inside of the class definition, and this is these are the functions that are available inside of this class. They're special functions. So function blah says this is a message inside the class. So what we can do is, even for this, we could create an instance of this. So inside here, we could do let's call this one my class object. My class object is equal to my class. Okay, so is equal to my class, and since there are no attributes that need to be defined inside of my class, we can keep it just like this. And then we can try referencing something about my class. So we would print my class object dot variable. So if we were to do my class object dot variable, it's going to print out blah because this is the variable inside of my class. Okay, so if we're to print that, it says blah. And if we were to run the function def function self, this is a message inside the class. So we could run this this method over here as well. So my class object dot function, and because it's a function, we need to include some parentheses. If we were to run this, it would print out this message right here. Okay, awesome, awesome. All right, let's move on. We'll explain why you have to include that self as a parameter a little later. First, you have to assign the above class to an object. You would do the following. Okay, so here it's going to say my object X is equal to my class. So my object X, in this case, is an example of a class object. And inside of Python, we like to say that my object X is an instance of the my class class. So just keep in mind that when you're studying Python, you're going to hear about these kind of terms when we're talking about classes. Okay, so next let's talk about accessing object variables. To access the variable inside of the newly created object, my object X, you would do the following. Okay, so this is where we're talking about accessing the variables that the class object has. So my object X dot variable is going to be equal to this variable here, which is equal to this string blah. So my object X dot variable. So this code on its own doesn't print out anything to the console. So it did say out blah, but this is not going to print unless you were to specifically give the instruction to print, which we can do just like this. So just print and then wrap everything up in parentheses, and then you get the actual blah and not just the output. So which they illustrate right over here in the next window. That is fine. You can create different objects that are the same class. However, each object contains independent copies of the variables defined in the class. For instance, if we were to define another object with the my class and then change the string in the variable above. Okay, so we've got two objects here. We've got my object X and then my object Y. So they're both going to be objects inside they're objects of the myClass class, but we're going to change the variable over here. And you can do that. So myObject.variable, we're going to change it over here from blah to yakety. And well, it's just a nonsense word. So if we're to print out these variables right here, then myObject x is going to print out blah, and myObject y is going to print out yakety. So if we're to run this, blah yakety, okay, just like this. So in our own example, over on the mypython.com, so not mypython.com, onlinepython.com over here, okay, we've got our crypto guy object over here. We could change the motto over here, or we could change the crypto fact over here. We can change these attributes. So let's change the motto to, so crypto guy dot motto. We're going to change that to another string. So we're going to say we're elite and proud of it. Okay, so the motto has changed, but we're going to leave the crypto fact alone. Okay, so this means that when we print out cryptoguy.motto, it's not going to be we're hacking and coding and causing a scene. It's going to be we're elite and we're proud of it. So let's run this, and we see that the attribute has changed. It changes only for this particular object. It doesn't change for all of the HackerFrog class objects, just this instance over here. All right, let's go back. So next we're going to talk about accessing object functions. To access a function inside of an object, use notation similar to accessing a variable. So once again, we're talking about using class functions. So once again, we see that my class is over here and it has a function. This is the function right here. All it does is print out this message. And once again, we see that we can access the function by using the name of the object and then a dot and then the name of the function. And then we have to include some parentheses. This is just like using a method from any other object. All right, so just like this, if we're to run myObject.function, then it runs this function right here, which is defined in the class, which prints out this message. This is a message inside the class. Okay, awesome. All right, so here's where we talk about a little bit more about the init function. And remember, we talked about this before. The init function is a special function that is called when a class is being initiated. It is used for assigning values in a class. So we have this class over here, and the class is called numberHolder. So we can guess from the name of the class that this class is going to hold some numbers. So inside of the definition for this class, we have an init function, which includes the self, which is usually the first thing that is defined, and then the number. And then we see inside the init function self.number equals the number. And this is how we would reference the attributes that were given to it when it was initialized. Okay, and we also have a function inside of this class, and the function is called return number. And all the return number does is it returns the number that the object was initialized with. So in this case, this variable right here called var is going to be an instance of the numberHolder class, which is initialized with the number 7. So the number 7 is the self.number. If we wanted to print out the number that was assigned to the var object, it would be var.return number. So that's the name of the function, and then the parentheses. So that's going to print out the number 7. So because this was created as an instance of the number holder class with 7 as the attribute, this is going to print out 7. But if we're to give this another number, it could be anything else. Or we could even change this after initialization. So maybe var.number equals 3.14. And in that case, when we're to do the return number, it's going to return this, this new number right here. Just like that. Okay, so we've come up on the exercise for this section over here. So we have a class defined for vehicles. We're going to create 2 new vehicles called car1 and car2. Set car1 to a red convertible worth $60,000 with the name of Fur, and car2 to be a blue van named Jump worth $10,000. All right, so everybody, let's try to solve this code over here. So go ahead and try to... So over here, you don't need to change anything in here. But what we need to do is we need to create the 2 objects over here. So car1. So we definitely know that there's going to be car1 and car2. So we just need to create these as a vehicle object with the following values over here. So go ahead and try to solve the challenge. If you manage to solve the challenge before I do, please type in chat. I am the car master. With some smiley faces. But I'm going to be slowly starting to solve the challenge in just about a minute or so. But please go ahead and try to solve the challenge on your own. Try to race me and see if you can finish the challenge before I do. Okay, so you go ahead, if you're currently writing out your code, go ahead and ignore what I'm saying right now and try to complete the challenge. But I'm going to try to slowly explain what is going on when we're solving the challenge. So car1 and car2 are both going to be examples of the vehicle class. They're both instances. And from here, we can start editing. We can start modifying the attributes of the vehicle. So car1 dot something. So for example, car1 dot name is going to be equal to what is specified over here called FER, which is probably short for Ferrari. Car.1 color. We're going to set that to red. And car.1 kind, we're going to set this to convertible. And the last thing we need to do for car.1 is to set the value. And they say that it's supposed to be worth $60,000. Okay, and then that leaves car number 2. So car number 2, it's supposed to be called, its name is supposed to be Jump. Its color is supposed to be blue. The kind of car it is supposed to be is a van. And car.2's value is supposed to be $10,000. Okay, so now that we've defined all the values for car 1 and car 2, we can submit this as the solution. And it says fur is a red convertible worth $60,000 and jump is a blue van worth $10,000. Okay. All right, great job, everybody. We're going to move on to the last part of today's lesson. We're going to do a little quiz. So it's okay if you don't necessarily know the answers to these questions, but we're just trying to teach people a few facts about classes and objects and how Python treats them. Okay? So we have 2 questions. The first question is, which of the following statements regarding the relationship between a class and an instance is true? So remember that a class is the definition and an instance is an object of a particular class. So which of these statements is true? So A, a class is a blueprint for creating objects. An instance is an object belonging to the class. B, instances of class have all the attributes and methods of their class. C, the class variables of instances and their associated class can be different. Or D, all of the above. Okay, in this case, all of these are correct. So the class is a blueprint for creating objects, and an instance is an object linked to the class. Instances of class have all the attributes and methods of the class, but class variables of instances and their associated class can be different. Juan Wilches says A. Okay, so the answer was D. They were all correct. But Juan Wilches, thank you very much, and welcome to the stream. Nice to see you here. Okay, so we have our second question. Which of the following is not considered objects? Which of the following are not considered objects in the Python programming languages? So which of these are not objects? So Python is an object-oriented language, which means that most pieces of data inside of Python are considered objects. But which of these are not considered objects? So we've got operators like the plus sign, the minus sign. We've got B, variables such as integers, lists, strings, etc. We've got C, keywords like if, else, for, while, etc., etc. And we've got D, which is the answers A and C. So the answer is D, both A and C. So Python as an object, yes, John Welch's, your answer is correct. So Python is an object-oriented programming language. Almost everything is considered an object inside of Python, except for operators like the plus sign, the minus sign, etc. and keywords like if, else, for, while, etc. So these are all considered, these are not considered objects in Python, but almost everything else is. All right, so we're going to do another exercise before we finish off the class. We're going to write a program which features many of the concepts we learned in this workshop. We can use a window in the learnpython.org website to write the program. So on our learnpython.org website, on the onlinepython.com website, and I'll leave a link to that website in the chat. We're going to write a little program. So the program should create a new class, person, with the following attributes. We've got the first name, the last name, the age, birthday, and favorite color for this new class. And lastly, we're going to create a function with the class called self-intro, which prints out all of the class's attributes in a string. All right, so let's go over to, let's do this together, okay? So what is the first thing we need to do when we create this class? So what's the keyword we want to start with when we create a class? And when we create a class, do we capitalize any of the name of the class? There seems to be a helicopter going overhead. All right, so if we were to create a class, we have to use the class keyword to tell Python that we're making a class. Then we need to capitalize the first letter of the class name, and then we need to include a colon to indicate that we're creating a code block. So that means that everything inside the code block is going to be indented. Okay, so class person, and then what do we need to do next? So next we need to create our, need to do our init function. So it's going to be def, and then double underscore init, double underscore, and then inside of the parentheses, so this is another code block, so we need to include our colon over here. Inside the code block, we need to specify the self attribute, and then we need to include the names of all the other attributes. So in this case, we're going to do first name, and then last name, and then age, birthday, and then the last thing we're going to include is the favorite color. All right, so let's create this. So this is going to be a little bit tedious, but let's get through it. So it's self dot first name is going to be equal to first name, self dot last name is going to be equal to last name, self dot age is going to be equal to age, self dot birthday is equal to birthday, and lastly self dot fav color is equal to fav color. All right, so remember we also want to include a function inside of our class, and the name of the function is going to be self underscore intro, and self intro is going to use self as the argument. Okay, and inside of self intro self, we're going to print. Oops, we need to include this colon over here. So print, we're going to print something. This is going to be an F string. So remember that inside of Python, F strings are going to let you include variables inside of the print statement by indicating curly brackets. Okay, so let's just print something like hello, my name is self.firstname, and then self.lastname. Whoops. And then I am self.age, years old. And my birthday is on, did I? Oh, okay. I seem to have forgotten this. Okay. My birthday is on self.birthday. And lastly, my favorite color is self.favorite color. Okay, so I hope I didn't screw any of that up. And let's create an instance of this class right over here. So I'm going to do ShyHat. That's me. So ShyHat is a person, if you want to believe that. And we're going to give ShyHat all these different attributes over here: first name, last name, age, birthday, favorite color. All right. So ShyHat's first name is Shy, and ShyHat's last name is Hat. And ShyHat's age is Leet, and ShyHat's birthday is February 29th, and ShyHat's favorite color is green because he's a HackerFrog. All right, so we've defined ShyHat as an instance of the person class over here that we defined up here. All right. So the last thing we want to do is we want to invoke the self-intro function over here. So ShyHat.selfintro. And because it's a function, we need to make sure that it has the parentheses. When we run this, we should get this sentence over here with all the attributes included. So let's run this. My name is ShyHat. I am Leet years old. My birthday is on February 29th. My favorite color is green. Awesome, awesome, awesome. All right, so everybody, that was classes and objects. If you have any questions about any of the concepts that we learned in today's lesson, please type them in chat. Otherwise, we're going to be moving on to the summary for today's lesson. If you're here from either Black Girls Hack or Women's Society for Cyberjitsu, we have a survey for you to fill out. If you're from BGH, Black Girls Hack, please use this survey link. And if you're from Women's Society for Cyberjitsu, please use this survey link right here. Okay, so everybody, today's stream is going to be a little bit longer than usual. We're going to move on from the Python workshop, and we're going to be moving on into some OSINT, open source intelligence, in just a little bit. But first, let's do the summary for today's workshop. Let's review the programming concepts we learned in today's workshop. Okay, we took a look at classes and objects. So Python is an object-oriented programming language, and as such, all data in Python code are considered objects. So all objects belong to a class, and an object's class indicates which built-in functions, methods, and variables it has. All right, so what's next? In the next HackerFrogs After School Programming Workshop, we're going to conclude well, we're not going to conclude. We're going to move on to the next topic, which is dictionaries. So Python dictionaries are a special type of collection object, like a list inside of Python, but they've got their own things going on, which we're going to be explaining in the next workshop. That's going to be on Wednesday at the same time that the workshop started today. So it's going to be 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time and 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right, so we're going to be moving on to our next topic. And before we move on to the next topic, I'm going to start up some music because this is going to be a little bit more casual than our Python workshop. I'm going to start up the music. If you can hear the music, please type "I hear the music" in chat. All right, let me start the music now. All right, does everybody hear that? And so the music is not supposed to be super loud. If it is loud, please let me know that it's too loud and you can't hear my voice over the music. Okay, awesome. All right, so now we're going to be starting what we're going to call the OSINT party, the Cyber OSINT party. Let me change my title over here. So we're doing Cyber OSINT Party. This is where we're going to be doing some open source intelligence about some cybersecurity companies, really big cybersecurity companies that everybody is supposed to know. All right, so our first two targets for today are going to be the following. So let me grab, they're going to be FireEye and Mandiant. Okay, so when we talk about cybersecurity companies, there are there might be a few bigger companies than FireEye and Mandiant, but they're pretty well known. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be running some open source intelligence to try to learn a little bit more about these big companies. So we're going to be using a number of different tools and methods to get our information. And for the first part, first of all, one tool that we're going to be using is Wikipedia. So if people think that Wikipedia is not a good source for getting information about subjects, I'm sorry. I do believe that Wikipedia is pretty legitimate, and but of course, Wikipedia can't be the only source of information you get on any subject. But let's look up our first subject for the cyber OSINT party, and that's going to be FireEye. And is FireEye Trellix? Trellix. So it is not called FireEye anymore. Okay, so Trellix, I guess, is formerly FireEye and McAfee Enterprise, a privately held cybersecurity company that was founded in 2022. I'm pretty sure FireEye is a lot older than 2022, but I'm guessing that Trellix is relatively recent, and I guess the merger of FireEye and McAfee Enterprise happened in 2022. Okay, so what we're going to be doing while we're doing the OSINT party is we're going to be let me get rid of these superfluous windows. So browser tabs, let's get rid of these. We're going to be writing entries in the HackerFrogs Cyber OSINT Party companies GitHub over here. And we have some different, so if you want to take a look at the progress of how these files are developing, I provided a link to everybody over here. But we're going to be editing these markdown files right here with our findings. So over here, let's edit this. And this is going to let us edit our files in place. And whatever information we find during our OSINT investigation into FireEye, we're going to include in this file over here. So first of all, let's make a note. FireEye has been folded into the larger company Trellix. And we need to, so every time we write some facts down about what we found about the target through open source intelligence, we need to note where we got this information from. And in this case, we got the source from Wikipedia, which means I'm going to include this this W right here. Maybe I wonder if using these brackets right over here is going to cause some sort of problem. Okay, so FireEye has been folded into the large company Trellix. We got this from Wikipedia. We have a number of different pieces of information we definitely want to get each time we do one of these open source intelligence parties. Okay, so that's the first thing. Okay, another thing we want to learn is let me grab my notes. So the next question we're going to ask is, what are their services? Okay, so what are their services? What does this company do? So we're talking about FireEye. Let's take a look at Trellix over here. So Trellix, formerly FireEye, privately held cybersecurity company that was founded in, let's make this text bigger. Can we make this bigger? Okay. So it has been involved in the detection and prevention of major cybersecurity attacks. It provides hardware, software, and services to investigate. So this sounds like what services are provided by this company over here. Let's plug this in to our file. And we need to indicate that we got this from Wikipedia. So Wikipedia is not the only source that we're going to use, but since we're on the Wikipedia page right now, we might as well try to get as much information as we can out of the Wikipedia article, and then afterwards we're going to move on onto other sources. So what are their services? Another question we're going to ask is, where is its physical location? Okay, so where are the offices of FireEye? So we can go over to Google Maps. And inside of Google Maps, we're going to Imani Meta says that McAfee was a wild dude. Did he go to jail? McAfee died. Not to spoil anything, but McAfee was a wild dude. We're talking about John McAfee, which is one of the companies that was merged into Trellix. But John McAfee was the founder of McAfee Antivirus, and McAfee did a lot of drugs. He advocated for a lot of crypto, and he moved down to South America and got in a lot of trouble and was jailed. And eventually, I think he was murdered in prison. So if you want to learn about that, you can definitely go over to Wikipedia or anywhere else, and you can search for that. So what are we looking for? We're looking for FireEye. So FireEye Inc., I guess that would be the name. So FireEye Inc., we've got corporate office in Berkshire. Where is Berkshire? FireEye Inc. is in Berkshire, LN, Dallas, Texas. So let's just say that's Dallas, Texas. Alright, so FireEye Inc., Dallas, Texas. We're going to try to cooperate this. We don't need to write down the exact address for FireEye Inc. If anybody from FireEye is watching, we're not trying to do anything bad. And everybody, through our open source intelligence journey over here, we're not trying to do anything malicious. We're just trying to practice our open source intelligence skills. Okay, so FireEye Inc. is in Dallas, Texas. Okay, so let's write that down. Physical location, Dallas, Texas, United States of America. Okay, so the physical location, that is that. And what else do we want to know? We want to know when they were established. Establishment year. So when was Fire? So we know that Trellix was. I guess we could write down that Trellix merger happened in 2022, and that's from Wikipedia. But the original company was established way earlier. So let's find out when it was. We'll try to see when it was. It says founded 2022, but when was FireEye established? Okay, June 2021. FireEye sold its name and products to STG, Symphony Technology Group, for $1.2 billion. And McAfee, alright, combined. Alright, so it says history here. FireEye was founded in 2004 by Ashar Aziz. Okay, so we're also going to note this person's name right here, Ashar Aziz, because this is the founder of FireEye. So let's go over to the document. In 2004, and this is also from Wikipedia. So the establishment year was 2004, but the Trellix merger was in 2021. Okay, so the next piece of information we want to figure out is the founder of the company. And we're going to say that the founder of the company is, according to Wikipedia, Ashar Aziz. So I'm going to copy this. So Ashar Aziz was the founder of the company, and let's try to figure out who their current leadership is. So who's running the company right now? Not the founder of the company. So the current leadership, let's take a look at the article over here. So it says under here, key people, Brian Palma, CEO. And that means this is what we're going to include for current leadership. All right, current leadership, Brian Palma, and let's talk about other notable members. So who else is important in this company over here? Let's take a look at the article and learn more. So Ashar Aziz, former Sun Microsystems engineer. So it's got a bunch of different products that they offer over here. We're not. Oh, it says here. It says the headquarters is Milpitas, California, United States. But I'm thinking that this is probably the headquarters for Trellix. All right, that's interesting. Okay, in December 2013, FireEye acquired Mandiant for $1 billion. So Mandiant is the other target for today's OSINT party investigation. We're going to be talking about Mandiant a little bit later. Okay, so they don't really talk. I don't see any mention of any other people in this article aside from the founder, Ashar Aziz over here, and Brian Palma, the CEO. But I'm sure that okay, wow, we've got a number of employees at 3,400, but that's Trellix. So that might not be just for FireEye. I guess we could say that that Kevin Mandia is another notable person in the company because FireEye acquired Mandiant, and the founder of Mandiant is Kevin Mandia. So let's note that. And we got that from Wikipedia as well. Okay. So let's see what other things that we can we. So I guess we could talk about, we could get the big news stories. So big news stories that appear when we search for FireEye. All right, so let's go over to Google. Google.com. We're going to search for FireEye, and we're going to look at news. The problem here is that this is only going to show a bunch of news stories from relatively recently. So how do we determine which of these news stories has the most clicks and the most views? So we could try asking ChatGPT. Historically. So before we do that, let's take a look at what the FireEye entry for ChatGPT is. So FireEye is a prominent cybersecurity company known for providing various services and products aimed at protecting organizations from cyber threats. Okay, they have cybersecurity services, technology, products, Mandiant Solutions. So Mandiant Solutions, of course, we know that Mandiant is part of FireEye, but apparently FireEye is also part of Trellix, which this article over here doesn't mention. That's interesting. I guess it happened. It's because it happened in the last 2 years, and there are so this version of ChatGPT only gets to see stuff that happened, stuff that's happened in the past. Let's ask the question: what are the biggest news stories associated with FireEye? Oh, SolarWinds. So APT-29 cyber attack and SolarWinds incident. Of course, this is the biggest news story associated with FireEye, because FireEye was compromised by SolarWinds. Okay, so FireEye discovered and publicly disclosed a sophisticated cyber attack involving the compromise of the SolarWinds Orion software. This attack, attributed to a group called APT-29, also known as Cozy Bear, affected numerous organizations globally, including government agencies and major corporations. So, alright. Let's use this as one of the big news stories associated with FireEye. So big news stories, we're going to include this, and we're going to say that we got this from ChatGPT. And let's take a look at what else is in this this response. Red Team tools stolen. Okay, this. Oh, the Mandiant acquisition. Yes. So FireEye acquired Mandiant, a leading incident response and forensics analysis firm. Okay. 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 So we're going to include this as another big news story that FireEye was involved with. And we're going to say that we got this from ChatGPT, even though there are many different sources that will tell us that this was the case. And maybe let's choose one more big news story associated with FireEye. Let me grab a drink. Just a second. All right, everybody, I'm back. Can you hear me? Okay, good. APT-41 and Global Cyber Espionage Campaign. FireEye uncovered and reported on a widespread cyber espionage campaign linked to a group known as APT-41. This group was attributed to conducting espionage operations for both financial gain and intelligence collection purposes, targeting a wide range of industries and organizations globally. So this happened before I got into cybersecurity, so I'm not sure what this is all about. Imani Mehta says, I heard that SolarWinds was an inside job. Is that an unsubstantiated rumor? I'm the wrong person to tell you about that, but SolarWinds being an inside job, are you referring to which inside are we talking about? Are we talking about FireEye, as in somebody inside FireEye was working with the APT group, or are we talking about because SolarWinds affected? Oh no! You might be talking about the inside job being over at the SolarWinds company, as in the SolarWinds company. There was a spy or somebody on the inside of the SolarWinds company, right? I mean, I think that's plausible. That's definitely plausible, but I haven't heard any news pointing to that fact. I think the FireEye tools were stolen because FireEye was one of the companies that was compromised by the SolarWinds hack, because FireEye was using SolarWinds software, and that's how the hackers were able to get inside of the FireEye network. And it was FireEye that blew the whistle on the SolarWinds hack, because they noticed that stuff was going wrong inside of their network. I'm pretty sure that's the case. But let's just say that APT-41 Global Espionage Campaign is another news story that we can associate with FireEye. Yeah, no, I mean, I like talking about this stuff. Of course, I can't say that anything's for certain, but I can only say that what I've heard in the past is all. Okay, so we can say that this news story over here, which we got from ChatGPT, is another noteworthy news story associated with FireEye. Okay, so along with big news stories, let's talk about media appearances. So as far as media appearances are concerned, I can't really get access to if they, made appearances on television stations or something. But we can see if they've appeared on any podcasts or any YouTube videos. So we can go over to YouTube. And let's search for FireEye. Let's search for FireEye and interview. Okay, so we've got this CNBC video from 9 years ago. I'm going to copy this link address, and we're going to call that one of the links for media appearances. And we're going to call this one how do I copy this? Well, maybe if I just click into it first. And we got this one from YouTube. So YouTube is going to be Y. And let's see if we can grab a couple more. We don't see too many. Okay, here's another one. How FireEye stopped internet misinformation campaigns. So this was from 2019. Okay, cool. Let's copy this one as well. And this is from YouTube. And I'll copy this link. And let's grab one more. So maybe we'll look for a podcast. So on Google, we'll search for podcast, FireEye podcast. So we see that Mandiant has a podcast over here. So we're going to be noting this down when we get to the Mandiant section. So it doesn't look like FireEye did a lot of podcasts. Okay, let's see if we can find one more. From help desk to FireEye to CEO, but I don't think this person became the FireEye CEO. Wait, let's grab this and see. From working the help desk to becoming FireEye's chief security strategist. Oh, interesting. So maybe we should note this person over here as one of the notable people. Imani Mehta says, lots of good podcasts, I'll look them up later. Yeah. Well, we'll be talking about some of the Mandiant and FireEye podcasts in just a little bit, actually. But other notable members. Okay, so we've got Kevin Mandia, and we also have Jason Miller. And we got this from We got this from YouTube, but this person probably... Okay. Alright, so let's grab another YouTube video and then we can move on. Okay, so... Oh, here we go. FireEye CEO Kevin Mandiant? This happened? He became the FireEye CEO? Let's grab this. Okay. And obviously this is from YouTube. And let's grab the link. So, like I said, if you want to take a look at any of the information in this document, this is the document right over here. You can take a look at this document at your leisure. As we're writing it or after it's done, either way is fine. And let's grab the link for this video. Okay, so media appearances done. Let's take a look at social media accounts. So does FireEye have its own social media pages? They must have when they were still operating independently, but I'm not sure if everything from FireEye has been merged into Trellix these days. Not sure. So first off, let's search for FireEye Twitter. Let's not look in news, let's look in all. So we've got FireEye support. Do I need to? I need to log into X. That sucks. Okay, let me log in to X. Sign in. Okay, I am. And Mandiant says, I will watch the YouTube video on the outlook for the cybersecurity sector. We keep hearing about the great need for employees, but it seems new applicants get a lot of rejections, hard to get experience. I think it's starting to pick up. There was a big cybersecurity and IT slump in the last few months, but I've heard a lot of people getting hired these days. So I think the cybersecurity recession is starting to let up. But yeah, I think we can be a little bit more optimistic these days. All right, so I am the Shy Hat. And I have to provide a password. Hold on while I go over to my password manager. Okay, I've got my password. I paste it in. I log in. Okay, and what am I searching for? I'm searching for FireEye. So FireEye support, ask questions, we can ask over here, okay, community.fireeye.com. Let me grab this and include it in the social media tab. So we're going to call this X/Twitter. AI used in cybercrimes will be a beast, scary. That's true, that's true. There's going to be more and more AI involved in cybercrimes going into the future. They're going to be using a lot of ChatGPT to help them in their criminal activity. Okay, so X Twitter. This is the account right here, and FireEye support. I guess LinkedIn. We could look for their LinkedIn. So let me search for this. FireEye LinkedIn. Here it is. Okay, let me copy this and copy it over. Okay, that's FireEye LinkedIn. What other account should we grab? So there's X, Twitter, LinkedIn. Is there one other big account we should be... Let's see if they have an official YouTube page. So we're looking for channels. So they don't seem to have an official YouTube channel. But we did see that there were some podcasts. Hold on. So check a financial site like Dun and Bradstreet. Dun and Bradstreet. I don't use Dun and Bradstreet, but let's take a look. I love it when web pages make me wait for arbitrary reasons. Okay, so FireEye. Search for it. ITs. That's interesting. I'm gonna guess that this one over here in California is what we're looking for. FireEye Security Holdings, US LLC. I'm not sure this is the... the company we're looking for. But that's okay. That's okay. All right, so I think as far as podcasts are concerned, we can, because Mandiant is part of FireEye, we can count the Mandiant podcasts as part of FireEye. Cybersecurity podcast, threat intelligence. So, and we got that from their own website. So their own website, we're gonna use O for original. Okay. All right, is there anything else we need to... Okay, so I think we're gonna call it, for FireEye, we're gonna call it here, and we're gonna move on to our second target, which is Mandiant. But we've got a list of interesting information about this company, and we're going to commit these changes. The formatting got all screwed up over here. Sad to see that. Well, maybe I'll fix it up a little bit later. Okay. So we're going to move on to Mandiant. And let's edit this. Okay, let's start. So the first question is, maybe I shouldn't be using this. Maybe I should be using the hash instead, because this is Markdown. So what are the services? Let's read a Wikipedia article about them. Okay, so Mandiant is an American cybersecurity firm and a subsidiary of Google. This is an important thing to know. It rose to prominence in All Right, released a report directly implicating China in cyber espionage. Okay, so they did mention that that Mandiant was a digital forensics company. Let me confirm that over with ChatGPT. Specializes in providing advanced cybersecurity service primarily focused on incident response, threat intelligence, and forensics investigations. Okay, let's copy this. And we can add this to the and we need to note that we got this from GPT. So what are their services? These things. I guess incident response and forensics investigations are two of the big things that are associated with Mandiant. How can you be sure all the results you get from ChatGPT are accurate? Well, we can check Mandiant over here in ChatGPT, and then we can check against another source, such as Wikipedia over here, and if the two results match, then we can be fairly confident that they're correct. But if they're contradictory, then we know that something is up, and we can do our own research using Google or some other tool. So subsidy Google. Does it say anything about the services over here? Let me just try Googling really quickly Mandiant services. And we're going to view all the services. This is the official website. So if the official website doesn't have the correct answer, then then that's a big problem. Okay, so they do incident response, ransomware, risk management, targeted attack testing, all sorts of. So incident response. So we can say pretty accurate. Well, I mean, with a fair amount of confidence, that when it says that they specialize in providing advanced cybersecurity services, primarily focused on incident response, threat intelligence, and forensic investigations, that sounds pretty accurate. So we're going to say in our tab here that it's ChatGPT, and we also went to their own website, which is O. And these are the two sources for this statement right here. Okay, so what are the services? Next, we're going to ask, where's their physical location? Where are their offices? And we're going to look on Google Map. So we're looking for Mandiant. So Mandiant over here is permanently closed. Red Canary. Is this number 1 and this number 2? Mandiant Inc. Business Management Consultant. Computer Security Service. This sounds more accurate. Oh, I didn't even look on the East Coast. Okay, so this is Virginia. So Alexandria, Virginia. Okay, so I'm going to go over here and I'm going to say Dun and Bradstreet showed Mandiant International. Mandiant International. Oh, you know what? We could go to their official website. We were on their website, right? Okay, Mandiant. Contact us. Okay, we don't need to know contact sales. There are telephone numbers. They're probably not going to give us an address over here, are they? But I guess we could look on Dun and Bradstreet. And what is the name of this company? Let me check on the Wikipedia for what their exact company is called. Oh, we should totally have an entry for like official company name. Mandiant. Formerly Redcliffe Consulting. Okay, they originally called what Redcliffe Consulting. Interesting. Headquarter. It says here that it's in Reston, Virginia. But the address that we found was for Alexandria, Virginia. But here it says, Okay, let's note that down. So this was Google Maps. GM for Google Maps. And Reston. And this information was from Wikipedia. And in fact, we could ask ChatGPT. Okay, this is cooperated by ChatGPT. Okay, so they're in Reston, Virginia. Okay, next we're gonna look for the official company name. So I guess we can call this Mandiant Inc. from Wikipedia. And let's take a look at Mandiant's own website. So here it doesn't say what the official name of Mandiant, the company, is called. But if we look on Google Maps, it says Mandiant Inc. Okay, so Mandiant Inc. is also corroborated by Google Maps. Let's note that down. So both Wikipedia and Google Maps calls this Mandiant Inc. Okay, so next let's take a look at establishment year. CIA is at Langley in Virginia. Looks like the DoD triangle. Oh yeah, well, I mean a lot of intelligence stuff is located close to Washington D.C., so that makes a lot of sense. Okay, so establishment year. Let's take a look at the. Let's ask ChatGPT first. Okay, so ChatGPT says 2004, but if we're thinking about its former name, then maybe it was established earlier than 2004. But let's... So we can say 2004, and that's according to ChatGPT. According to Wikipedia, it was founded in 2004, okay? So that's corroborated by Wikipedia. And I'm guessing that they're not going to, this isn't going to be something easy to find on Mandiant's own website, unless there's a history section on this website, which I don't think there is. Okay, well, let's move on. You know, I think after a little bit of investigation over here, I think we should add a section on aliases, or things that other names that the company, if the company has been renamed or not. So that's just what's called the rename or not, and this one is previously Redcliffe Consulting. And that's according to Wikipedia, but ChatGPT doesn't say that it was. That's interesting. So ChatGPT doesn't know that Mandiant was previously known as Redcliffe Consulting. That's interesting. Okay. So according to Wikipedia, it was previously known as Redcliffe Consulting, and I guess we could corroborate this by looking at the entry for Kevin Mandia, the founder over here. So it was. Kevin Mandia doesn't have his own entry. Oh, it's 2006. Well, I made an oopsie. 2004 to 2006, it was known as Redcliffe Consulting. Okay, next, let's take a look at the founder. Oh, that's easy. It was founded by Kevin Mandia, and that's from Wikipedia. Well, I mean, it's probably going to be on its own website, and its ChatGPT can also tell us that. Current leadership. So, who is the current CEO of Mandiant? Let's take a look. Founder Kevin Mandia. It looks like Kevin Mandia is still the CEO. Let's take a look at Mandiant's own website and see if they mention Kevin Mandia. I guess the Mandiant website doesn't talk very much about people. Oh look, they've got social media links over here. Okay. All right, so we can keep this in mind for when we fill in our social media stuff. Cool. Current leadership, notable members. Okay, so I'm not sure how to go about this because on the Mandiant page, they don't talk about people. There's about us. Okay, let's take a look at here. About us. Okay, they're still not talking about people. We should also have another section on how large the company is. How many employees, and previous names. But I guess they're not talking about. They're not talking about any people over here. I guess we could take a look at we could Google this really quick. I don't think you will find a lot about the specific work they do or key employees if they have DoD contracts. Well, I mean that makes sense. Okay, maybe I shouldn't search too hard for these people. But I do remember that the Mandiant podcast had the hosts over there were also staff over at the Mandiant company, so Mandiant podcast. So this is the podcast that I was thinking of, the Defender's Advantage podcast. I've actually listened to a few episodes of this podcast in the past. So there's this person over here called Luke McNamara, who's the host of this podcast over here, Defender's Advantage podcast. I'm not too sure which position this person has, but I'll just list this person as the host for the Mandiant podcast. Okay, and that's from I guess that's from Apple Podcasts. I'm not sure. Looks like Mandiant does work on the level of monitoring state-sponsored cybersecurity. Cyber activities. In that case, I guess that it would be more difficult to find information about this company than some other ones. But I guess we'll do our best. This is open source intelligence, and this is only as much as we can get from open source, from open sources rather. Well, I mean, we're not engaging in any techniques that are too deep as far as open source intelligence is concerned, but we're just doing some basic Google searching and asking questions of Wikipedia articles or whatever. It's not super kind of sophisticated. Okay, so other notable members, and then big news stories. So big news stories, let's do a little bit of Google searching. Actually, wait. So these big stories aren't going to appear on Google, not in the way that we want. We should probably ask ChatGPT about big news stories. So the Wikipedia article does include this big thing on Mandiant breaking some sort of story between about Chinese hackers, and I guess this is the news story right here. Aurora attacks, where Chinese hackers infiltrated numerous companies, including Google. Right. Okay. So this is a big news story. Okay, so that's one, and let's find a couple more. So we can also cooperate with the Mandiant Wikipedia page as well. February 2013, Mandiant released a report documenting evidence of cyber attacks by the People's Liberation Army, especially Pudong Base PLA Unit 61398. Okay, so this is February 2013. So is 2013 here? 2013 here is APT1 report. Prolific Chinese cyber espionage group is APT1. Okay, so all right, so we can safely say that this is a really big news story associated with Mandiant. And this is according to both Wikipedia and ChatGPT. But then again, ChatGPT might be getting its sources from Wikipedia. So this one over here is from ChatGPT. And let's see if Wikipedia also has this. So it doesn't. So the Wikipedia article doesn't mention the 2010 incident over here. And I guess 2013 Mandiant acquired by FireEye for $1 billion. I guess that counts as news as well. So let's write that down. Looks like Mandiant was also involved in discovering the pipeline hack in the US. Oh, the pipeline hack, that happened in, was that 2000? The pipeline hack, was that 2022 or 2021? Let me search that really quick. Colonial pipeline. That was 2021. Colonial pipeline hack, 2021. Okay, let me note that down. And I guess that was found through Google search. Okay, so that's 3 big stories. I guess we're going to include the merger as well. 2013. We got that one from good old Wikipedia. Okay, so that's big stories. That section's done. Next, let's talk about media appearances. I guess any media appearance is probably just going to be Kevin Mandiant himself giving like interviews or whatever. Let's see if what we can find on YouTube. That's what Kevin Mandiant looks like? I didn't expect that. I for some reason I expected Kevin Mandiant to be like a Hispanic person. I'm not too sure why, but I heard Mandiant and I just assumed that it was like a Latin American name. But okay, let's use this. This is one of the media videos. Hold on. Oh, I don't like this song. Let's switch to something else. Okay, this sounds better. Let's see if we can find at least one more. Okay, so we've got an interview with Kevin Mandiant over here. Mandiant looks Russian. Okay. I can't tell just well, I mean I can't tell just by looking, but if you say so, well I'll trust your judgment. Is Mandiant a Russian name? Let's ask ChatGPT. Oh, it doesn't feel like... No. Latin word mandare, to entrust. Okay, well, I think it's still thinking that we're talking about Mandiant. Kevin Mandiant is the CEO of Mandiant. Is Kevin's family name. Oh, it says it's of Italian origin. Well, I mean, okay, I don't know. This is not my field of expertise, but that's interesting. It's interesting that it gives us answer. All right, back to it. Okay, so media appearances is done. Let's social media accounts. So fortunately, on the Mandiant webpage, there are all these over here. Okay, so let's go over to their LinkedIn page. Next, this is the YouTube. Well, they have a YouTube channel. Okay. Interesting. Okay, they have a Twitter. Let's take a look. All right. And the last one is Facebook. Oh, Facebook, geez. Let's take a look at their Facebook page. Okay. We should probably go back and look up these pages for FireEye as well, but maybe I'll do that next time. Okay, social media account, size of company. Let's look up the size of the company for this one over here. So let's put it over here, company size. So according to Wikipedia, number of employees is this right here. And this is according to Wikipedia, of course. Let's ask ChatGPT. So ChatGPT corroborates what Wikipedia says. So 3,200 employees. 3,200. Whoa, this is a different number. Hold on. So mid 2021, 3,200 employees. But on the Wikipedia page, it says 3,335. The announcement of this partnership is not just good news for CrowdStrike and Mandiant. I'm not sure what that refers to. But let's note the discrepancy over here. Where were we? Right here. Okay, so this is according to ChatGPT. I guess we can call this June. Okay. All right, so it looks like we've got a pretty good profile on these two companies, both Mandiant and FireEye, and we did all this through some open source intelligence. If you want to take a look at what we put inside of our files, you can find them at the following link over here. And eventually I'm going to take this information, I'm probably going to turn it into a YouTube video. But let me save this out. So I'm going to be ending the stream pretty soon, but before that, I'm just going to fix up the I'm going to fix up the formatting for this. So I'm just going to replace these over here with some But thank you very much to everybody who joined me for this stream here. Imani Mehta, thank you very much for all of your insight and for keeping you company while we go on this OSINT journey. All right, so we're going to be back on Wednesday, and don't forget to mention CrowdStrike and Mandiant partnership in your YouTube video. Well, I didn't know that. Well, I'll probably do another OSINT session on CrowdStrike, because CrowdStrike is another really big cybersecurity company that I want to include. Because what I want to do is I want to learn about these companies as well, because I hear about these companies all the time, and it really benefits me to know what these companies are all about. But actually, you know what? We're going to make the next episode about CrowdStrike and maybe another company. Thank you very much for that suggestion. So let me note this down. CrowdStrike. And is there another company that's associated with these companies as well? Because I was also thinking about doing one on Rapid7. Well, maybe I'll do one on Palo Alto Networks. But Rapid7 is a really sexy company too, because they make what is it? Metasploit. So the next episode is probably going to be on Wednesday after the Python workshop. It's going to be at around the same time as it was today. But yeah, thank you very much. Let me save this out, commit these changes. Thank you very much for watching, and thank you very much for participating today. We'll be back on Wednesday, and we're going to be doing another Cyber OSINT party. This time we're going to be doing CrowdStrike, and we're going to be doing Rapid7, unless plans change. Palo Alto Networks is the camera shield logo on my computer. Palo Alto Networks is big. It is really big. And I think that it's Palo Alto Network just makes a bunch of like networking hardware as well. So, and it's like one of the biggest companies inside of the network hardware space. So that's gonna be really fun to research. But yeah, we're gonna be back on Wednesday, and we're also gonna be doing another stream on Friday. Where we're going to be doing Hack the Box tutorials. We've been going on a series working through Hack the Box tutorials, and let me show you my website. So youtube.com/HackerShyHat. You can catch all of the previous live streams over here on this page, as well as all the walkthrough videos that we make. So all of our previous live streams are over here. We have our shorts, which feature my beautiful backyard birds, as well as videos that are walkthroughs on Pico CTF challenges, as well as Hack the Box challenges. So we're going to be doing a big Hack the Box night on Friday, and we're going to be working through these starting point boxes over at Hack the Box. So if you're interested in doing some network hacking, join us on Friday. But otherwise, we're going to be back on Wednesday, and we're going to be doing more cyber OSINT parties. But thank you very much, everybody, and we'll see you next time. Have a great week.